Here we are. Episode
Oh, wow.
35.
Brilliant, Ryan. Characters are fantastic.
Yeah. First of all, before we begin, I was just saying a quick shout out for those for another recommendation to those over the weekend, and that is for Netflix's Over the Moon.
Over the Moon. This looks like a cute animated feature.
Yes, indeed. Which is actually really good.
Cool.
It's a flawless film.
A what, sorry?
A flawless film.
Don't hear that very often.
I know, but qualified as that. It's such a good time. And it feels like a Disney anime movie to me at times.
It's got the Disney magic, but it's not from Disney.
Yeah. No, it's like it's its own thing. Well, it feels like its own thing all for the poster.
Do you know who it's made by, Ryan? DreamWorks or some big company, or is it some unknown?
Oh, sorry, Adam. Oh, here we are. It's production company by Sony Pictures Imageworks.
So it's a Sony. I can't think what they have done with animation. It's probably right there in front of me. No, interesting. So it sounds like it's out of the blue, Ryan. So Over the Moon.
Yeah, and I felt like it was out of the blue myself.
Yeah.
But I end up liking it.
Looking at the cast, so I'm on Ryan's rdbreviews.wordpress.com blog post.
I think one of them is voiced by the bloke who played Sulu in the Star Trek movies.
George Takei. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's all good. I got to. So looking at the graphic that Ryan showed us, if you look at that castle down the bottom, I mean, if that's not the Disney castle.
Well, it does look like it a bit.
Come on.
But it's yellow, but not like fancy look in the background.
They clearly got away with it because it's released, so Disney haven't stopped it in its tracks. An adventurous girl builds a rocket ship to meet a mythical goddess on the moon.
Yeah.
Ryan says the film is flawless. The animation for this film is amazing into detail. I'm glad they didn't shoehorn a villain into this film. It delivers a touchy message about struggling to move on after losing someone, and it felt like a Disney animated movie at times. In the cons, sadly, this film, along with others like this one, shares the same familiar trope. It was easy to work out. It wasn't a confusing plot. It was by the book.
Yeah, probably this one probably will get a lot of people interested on Netflix because of the animation.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say there's no villain, so it is just a story of a girl that wants to build a spaceship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just highly recommend it, and I just quickly want to give this film a shout out before we get on to our main topics.
Cool. So Over the Moon on Netflix, recommendation for this weekend.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And now let's get to our main schedule. The first one I talk about is The Last Kiss on Earth, also sponsored by Netflix, which is season 3.
Book 3.
Yeah.
Why is it called Book?
Well, I think it's a different way of saying season 3. Or series 3.
They just want to make themselves sound a bit more grandiose by saying book rather than cartoon.
Exactly.
Book 3. So, based on the Last Kids on Earth book, series by Max Brallier, as the four friends continue living it up, their monster allies, Jack worries a newly discovered radio transmitter may put an end to the fun. Ryan was looking forward to this third season. It was very good. In the prose, the chemistry of the main group living peacefully with the monster friends is good. Season had biggest challenges lie ahead. The main foe was a much more dangerous adversary, and this season explores the meaning of friendship and hope for others out there dealing with the monster apocalypse. In the cons, the first half of this season took a while to move the story along, and a huge chunk of this season focuses too much on Jack's insecurities. So obviously, if I knew book 1 and book 2, I would know about Jack and his insecurity. Yeah. But the monsters, Ryan, tell me about the monsters.
Yeah. In this one, I think in season 2, they started actually being helpful to the last to trying to rebuild a better society during this pandemic.
It sounds really interesting.
By the end, they started to form their little economy together, as in trying to survive this cold times throughout this apocalypse.
But the monsters are the bad guys, but they make friends with them by this book.
Well, yeah, there's some monsters and there's evil monsters.
Is it like Yu-Gi-Oh then? Can you control the monsters?
Let's say like you with monsters. Like basically they're like the monsters that are sucked from different planets.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason they actually now decided to live throughout this monster apocalypse. Yeah.
So it's survival, not horror, because it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
And the poster certainly makes it look friendly.
Yeah. Of course, they always want their friendly kid characters so they can sell toys.
Yeah. This makes me think, and you know me, looking at the poster, Dungeons and Dragons, where you've got the team of kids and they have
I still remember that one.
It's so good, isn't it? But they never quite made it back. They're always trying to get back to Earth, but instead they're stuck in it. And if you think about it, it's quite depressing. You know, they're stuck in this weird dimension with the guy with the one big black wing, and it's horrible. But as a kid, you don't mind too much because there's no violence. They're not being tortured to death. But
yeah, and that was the fantasy of it.
Yeah, there's a chance they can get home. You know, you hold out.
Only kids live out their wildest dreams of being these like iconic heroes.
Yeah.
In fantasy land.
So radio transmitter may put an end to the fun. Can you shed some light on that? Are they going to draw attention to themselves?
Oh no. One of the main parts of this season alone, they started to discover there's other survivors out there surviving this monster's apocalypse. But they are having challenging job of doing it. So they still manage to transmit her to hear survivors out there, which without spoiling too much, their quest is to try to rebuild this transmitter to try to communicate with other survivors.
The fun is spoiled because they have to do something serious. It sounds like they're in trouble. You know, it sounds like the discovery of the new transmitter means new people are going to find them, and that's a bad thing. But I need to watch the program to find out more. That's kind of the main plot of this series. So that seems to be what everything revolves.
The main scene. Hold on, you're going too much there. I think it's one of the main plots of season 3.
Okay, sorry. This is what you've mentioned, living it up with their monster allies, but then Jack worries about the discovery of the radio transmitter. So that's all you've given us as far as plot. How many episodes in this, Ryan?
I'll say about 10.
So this is, if there's 10 in each, then there's been 20 episodes building up to this point. Then there's 10 episodes in this world. Is there like an arch nemesis in each book?
Oh, yes, it does.
Okay.
Which is like this, if you closely pay attention to the show. By the, in season 2, they had this strange spirit from the other side of the apocalypse. Spirit that Jack we must get mind controlled throughout the season.
Amy Yoxall, FaceTime video.
Oh, sorry about that. My mum's.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, that's just my own. I'll do that later. It's also so basically yes, they are got that one got right on memory out of this conversation.
So we were just talking about arch nemesis, bad guy.
Oh, thank you, that's right. The strange spirit from another side of the apocalypse comes back to hunt for Jack's emotions of the situation, as in the apocalypse. You'll probably just try to basically get his brain, as in what they're showing the different outcomes of this apocalypse.
So he's got reason to be worried. We talk about Jack's worries, but if there's a monster out there trying to get into his brain, that's something to worry about.
Which is voiced by Rosie Dawson, which actually she was really stimulating.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, and also like really control other monsters. This big, huge, terrifying dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, when they Jack and his friends are searching for these survivors, they always get interrupted.
They get in what? Sorry.
Interrupt.
Interrupted. Yeah. Okay. So they're trying to find other survivors, transmitter, and then things are happening in the program that slow that story down. That's great. So they've kind of got this mission, but then other things happen episode to episode.
Yeah, like basically this evil dragon just getting in the way.
Gotcha.
And mummies, zombies, and all those.
If it's the end of the world, then throw everything in. Why not?
Yeah.
Spare nothing.
So basically, there are 4 kids trying to survive.
Are they from the same town or something? Is it
Yeah, it's definitely in the same town.
North America and the apocalypse happens and they're just trying to... Is it like Stranger Things? They're in a town.
Yeah, well, yeah, and in a small town. Well, normally in their own homes.
Yeah.
Town. And for some reason, someone just opened these portals from different monsters in the universe. They're just now on Earth, and now they're just making their towns more deserted.
So it's like a kid-friendly version of The Mist.
Yeah, so basically like The Walking Dead or like Apocalypse Now in a way.
Apocalypse theme stuff, but for kids. I love how that's seeped into kids' TV now, or kids streaming.
Brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, I think this one will worth a shot.
And they obviously haven't made it back to any kind of normality. So season 4, do you expect?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
I suppose it depends on whether the books have been written by Max Bralea, or like with Game of Thrones, they might just keep making it after the books have finished publishing.
Always, really. So yeah, I thought this was a very good season, and I think it's tied up nicely, building up to season 4.
Yeah. Well, I'm pleased, Ryan, that there is a season 3 of this on Netflix. We spoke about Netflix potentially not doing many series of programs because they favor starting new programs all the time. So if this makes it to season 4, that will be a good sign for a program keeping your attention.
So that's The Last Kids on Earth, season 3. Book 3.
Yep.
But in the book. And now let's move on from the monster apocalypse to a brand new man of tomorrow, Superman.
Man of Tomorrow. This looks like quite an old school poster. Interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like a comic book. If that's the animation style, it's something I haven't seen before. This is an action-adventure animation fantasy by DC. So this is a DC product, obviously based on Superman, created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. And the premise, the film chronicles the early life of Clark Kent before he became known as Superman. I was looking forward to see what was going with this new Superman movie, and it was good. I'm glad it was good. In the prose, they've done a very good job of making a new Superman film without relying on the origin story to explain. The storyline for this film is simple, brought a lot of humanity into Clark's first adversary, Parasite. The animation does remind me a bit like Archer, but very unique at the same time. I like Lobo, Martian Manhunter, and Lex Luthor roles in the story. And all of this film was a pretty good way to kick off a new DC animated shared universe. In the cons, they played it safe in terms of plot, and also for those who will find this jarring to get this new universe right after the last one, 4 months. We would talk about DC continuities, Ryan. So this is them pressing the restart button.
Yeah, this is a restart.
Yeah.
Yeah, brand new, all fresh.
When you say it's like Archer, do you mean cartoon kind of detective thing, Archer?
Well, yes.
Like the grown-up cartoon?
Yeah. If you actually type in or seen the commercials or
I've seen Archer. I've seen it.
Okay, or advertisement of it. It looks similarly like Archer.
Okay, so that's a
Without the
realistic human.
swearing. Without the swearing.
Yeah, it's not grown up like that, but it looks like it. So it's realistic people. It's not
Yeah.
cartoony. And one of the things of Archer is the animation, it wasn't very fluid, because all they did really was stand around, talk, and smoke cigarettes. So I wonder if this is like Archer, how well animated it is with him flying around and action.
Well, yeah. Well, at first, like I said in the pros, they did a really good job establishing this Superman instead of relying on the origin story, which we've probably seen about at times.
It is pretty crucial, though. I mean, they can't ignore the fact that he's from Krypton and, stuff.
No, I mean like, oh, we all know his origin story. He's a young kid from Krypton.
Full of news.
His own planet is about to go boom, and the last week, Joel brought his newborn son on a rocket ship, landing straight to Earth next to a farm.
Yes, so that's still the same. It isn't changed.
Yeah, they haven't changed. They didn't do that origin, which is shown in Man of Steel. Just normal Clark Kent struggling with his family heritage, but just raised by care family, which is the Kent.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how the story starts.
They do child Clark Kent, and then they go straight to grown-up Clark Kent, or they do child Kal-El, and then grown-up Clark Kent.
No, really, I think they just stay to him as an adult.
Okay, I mean, a young adult. He's not a child.
Very young adult, yeah. Like, it's just a simple story of a young man in a farm of Smallville one day becomes the most powerful superhero in the world.
Like Homelander, he was born with the power, but he doesn't discover it until he's an adolescent, and then he...
Probably later on in the story, yes, it does.
Okay. I get that you're trying to suggest that they're doing this in a different way, but like you say, it is the Superman that we know, so there's really not much you can do with him unless they changed his story, but they're just telling it in a different way.
Yeah, telling it in a different way, but also just not sacrificing what the character meant to people.
And what was that?
Which is hope, honesty, and believe in the American dreams.
The American way. He's true blue and good.
Yeah, and I did like how they used Lobo, Martian, and Manhunter, and Lex Luthor in this. So basically, like Clark Kent just run into these people at certain points in the story.
Lex Luthor isn't the bad guy. He just runs into him.
No, yeah, not just yet. He's like probably just rival to Lois Lane. Basically, like get on her bad side. But I love this version of Lois, more like herself in the middle of the fire. Definitely like learning what Lex is up to, or just like we do, just like we call stuff on our phones these days. So great attention to detail, what's gonna happen in real life.
So she's a good investigative journalist.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Voiced by my girl, Alessandra Daddario.
Okay.
Yeah, and the main villain, I was really impressed how they're trying to absorb some humanity into the first main episode, which is Parallax.
Is that this monster in the poster, or is it the guy?
The one in the poster, yes.
Okay, is it the alien, pink alien, or is it the guy on the bike? Pink alien, okay. There's a guy on a bike who looks like Hobgoblin. He's traveling.
That's a Lobo.
Okay.
Basically, like Deadpool and Wolverine combined into one.
Got you.
But was a very, very great flying bike.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Now again, it's Superman, man. So I'm just thinking, like, surely he can just vaporize them with his eyes. Like, how is there much of a challenge to Superman?
Well, like I said, boys, like a merger of Deadpool and Wolverine combined into one.
That does sound pretty badass. It's just up against Superman. Superman can just snap his fingers and you poof. So.
Or maybe he's like the jokester. He's like the jokester of the jokester of the film, which is actually the person to really like get Clark powers like going to realise his family heritage.
So this is before Clark Kent knows his full potential?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wherever like they've having a battle fight with each other or just throwing clips at each other.
Okay. As I've said plenty of times, not a big fan of Superman because he can do anything. And then suddenly he's a helpless baby when you produce a green glow stick. That's like, unless they're using kryptonite in this.
I was going to say kryptonite. Yeah.
Yeah. If they're not using it, then either Superman is being very stupid, as you just said, like not knowing his powers, or there's some other conceit that allows them to beat Superman. But Superman is unbeatable unless you've got kryptonite. But I don't understand this poster where he's got like a scratch on his cheek.
Well, I think that's just the problem with the advertisement.
They couldn't help it. They're like, we need to make this look actually interesting. Let's give him a bit of damage. But we all know that Superman is too powerful for that.
Oh yeah, but also this is like his first outing as Superman, like center stage.
He's learning the ropes, and
Yeah.
he can get roughed up because of that.
Yeah, but probably when we come back to it, which basically I don't know how or when, he probably will be fully powered as we know him now. Know him from years and years and years.
So this is a standalone movie. It
Yeah.
might spawn sequels, but at the moment it's one-off. And they're going to
off at the moment, yes.
Yep, they're going to make more films with this kind of universe. So they're going to relate back to events in this film as they make more films.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Okay.
And the bit when I said the informants of each other, which is the last, because I counted out in my head. I'm like, well, the last one, Justice League Dark. I counted out, that was like 4 months ago. And this film was out in September. So that's like 4 months in.
How often do they release features, Ryan? Is it every 4 months or is it more often?
I think it depends, really.
If they're making them now, they probably can't put them out every week like an episode of a cartoon. These are feature movies.
No, because I think these are mainly animated motion pictures.
Absolutely. So they've got to work on them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. It's been a 4 months gap from Justice League Dark Apocalypse War was the last of the New 52 universe.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, released back in April. And this one was out in August.
Okay.
Right in the middle of the summertime. So a 4-year gap between those releases.
So there might be another one before the new year, but they might also wait until 2021 to release the next one.
Exactly.
All right, cool. You'll keep us posted.
Yeah. Or probably you might have spotted one yourself in the supermarket one day. Who knows?
Maybe. I do click and collect now, Ryan, so I don't even bother to go in the supermarket. Are we done with Superman Man of Tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
This is available on DVD or Blu-ray. So, as Ryan says, look out for it in your local supermarket.
Let's talk about Fast and Furious cartoon. Fast and Furious Spy Racers Rio Season 2.
When I typed this into Ryan's search on his blog, there were quite a few posts about Fast and Furious, the cartoon series. Well, this is season 2. So they've gone from making the movies with the actors to these cartoon versions.
Yeah, which they are trying to expand it.
Got you.
But different minions.
Spy fiction action. When one of their own goes missing, the spy racers must leave LA and head to Brazil to take down a crime organization in Rio with their cars. I've not seen any of the Fast and Furious films. Are they meant to be crime stoppers?
I was going to say, I was going to ask you about the films. I actually haven't started since the 4th film.
That's where you jumped in?
Yes.
Okay.
And the one I pretty much personally started for me was Fast and Furious 6, which is like probably say something else. It's just called Fast and Furious 6.
This is going to show my age, Ryan, in a weird way, because what I'm going to refer to is older than me. But the Cannonball Run movies with Burt Reynolds, where he would drive his Confederate flag-toting Dodge around. Anyway, the police would chase him, and he would have friends who drove trucks that would help him. And basically, it was all about driving. There was a very loose plot, but it was mostly just driving cars and trucks. Is that the point of this program/film?
Well, in the earlier films, yes, it's like that. But since number 5, they started really like turn their gears around and turn them into action movies.
And after 5 movies, they're like, it's boring. Finally, you just drive it.
And change it up a bit.
Let's have you punch someone in the face every now and again.
Yeah, or probably just hit Jason Statham with a bone saw.
Okay, yeah, and then a few cars thrown in as well. So they all look quite young in the poster, Ryan. This is confusing too. So are they children, adults? The animation style is...
Well, sorry, yeah. I think, well, the little girl looks like he's a punk or teenager.
But not old enough to drive, is my point.
No.
Certainly not in Brazil.
Which, honestly, with this at this point, for me, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
All I know is everyone loves it. It does well. It's good enough for us.
Shut up, you. Yeah, okay, yeah, understood.
Yeah, exactly. Based from DreamWorks.
Right, okay. Are they the makers of the franchise before that?
No, I think it's maker of this version of Fast and Furious in animation.
Yeah, so DreamWorks do...
like trying to take like these like fully like serious like film franchises like Fast and Furious or Jurassic World, and then started let's just make an animated series working with DreamWorks to make animated kid versions of these movies.
We will squeeze the last drop of blood out of this concept. Yeah.
Yeah, well, in your mind, yes. In that way, yes.
Come on, man. They've done like 9 films, and now they're doing a TV. It's had its run, but honestly, if you find it fun, brilliant.
Well, yeah.
I've just never heard of the franchise being this long-lived. So.
Yeah, but let's get back to this one.
Yep.
I didn't really enjoy season 1 that much, but this one was far better enjoyable than the first season was.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, setting it in Rio gave it more of like sense of character and sense of stakes and full energy and excitement to get involved with what's going on.
Got you. So I'm aware from one of the films that there's one called Tokyo Drift, I think, that they go around the world driving their cars. In the first series, did they go to lots of different countries as well?
Yes, definitely. In I think there's Fast and Furious 6. No, I think they are definitely like in London. Some that go in different locations.
What about the cartoon, Ryan? The first series, do they stay in LA or do they go somewhere there?
I think they go on definitely different countries around the world.
Okay.
But this one, I think it's directly doing their stuff in Rio. There's like the feel and energy and like the enthusiasm of like what I'm seeing on the screen.
It's not just a movie, it's a Netflix series.
Mm.
He liked the season for being set in Rio, as he said. All the car chases are really well animated and well put together. Rio brings a lot of soul and energy to the show, and the 4 main leads are likable. Pros, Ryan is saying that Rio is the main attraction, but the 4 main leads are likable and charismatic. So they have... Yeah. Are they new characters? Are they different characters from the first season?
Not really. They all came back from last season. I done earlier this year.
Yeah.
Which is meant to be like the cousin of Vin Diesel character from the movies, without Vin Diesel's involvement.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty much like the most generic characters you can... I've said this is the cousin of Torello, which is the one with the big black hair. You got like a little pipsqueak there, which is basically like the one with the big long hair.
Yeah.
I call the kid with the big long hair. You got the hot chick. You got the punk rock racing instructor. You got the hired gun. And, oh yeah, you got a very cute animal with it as well. So basically, they can sell for kids.
I'm so glad it's the characters
So
are that well-rounded, Ryan.
Ah,
You've got the hot chick, the guy with the hair,
pretty much.
and they all drive cars. Great.
Yeah, they drive car and they don't care how much damage they cause.
What fantastic role models.
No, they don't care. They're just pretty much gearheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some stunts in the earth. Never tried that at home.
That's really sweet that you say stunts because it's animation. I mean, they could do it. The car could just float off into space. They could do anything they want.
Yeah, and a lot of it, like the recent Fast and Furious films, it turned them so into actual action movies.
Yeah, I mean, that's the appeal, no? It's about the cars driven.
That's definitely the appeal, which is fast cars, hot women, and a lot of action.
What about the Fury, Ryan? I've been making fun of this for years. Is anyone actually furious in any of the films?
Well, yeah, Vin Diesel.
He gets a strong.
The Rock, Jason Statham, and Robbie Lloyd, Toretto's crew as well.
What are they furious about?
Don't ask too much.
Don't shh.
That's the one side. The last part, don't think about it. Just dumb enjoyment.
It's just alliteration. We just like FF. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly. And the last one of the day, which is Yu-Gi-Oh!
Return to Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay.
Yeah, season 4.
3. Oh, no, I'm skipping ahead. So you've got season 5 up here as well, Ryan. All right. Next up is Throwback Reviews,
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 4. With
Yes,
this very interesting picture.
Oh yeah, but that's on the DVD box set of it.
So 2003. That's quite a throwback. And this is season 4. Did they do like one season a year?
Yes.
Okay, so it started in the very late 90s and now we're in 2003.
Yeah.
As ever, Ryan has done an epic job with the details. Just a quick snippet of some of Ryan's review. All that top stuff is all the cast.
Yeah.
That's all names sourced for us. And then the plot we have broken up into Act 1 and then some other details. So Act 1, Waking the Dragons. When the ancient organization, Paradius, steals the god cards, begins to steal the souls of the people and duel monsters in an effort to revive a monster thought to have led to the destruction of Atlantis 10,000 years ago, it is up to Yugi and friends to stop them. To do so, Yugi, Joey, and Keibai join forces with the 3 legendary dragons, Timaeus, Critias, and Hermes, and take on Paradius' leader, Dart, and his 3 henchmen, Raphael, Valon, and Alistair, who recruit and take advantage of other pro-duelists to help them. Ryan was excited to watch the season, this time on Prime Video. It was awesome. In the pros, the animation is way better this time. They've done a great job of taking multiple aspects of Duel Monsters in the mixing, and they take on Lost City of Atlantis story. Darts was an intriguing villain, and his henchmen had heartfelt backstories to each of them. I was amazed how they took the tone of this series and made it even darker. Song for the Seal of Orichalcus does make you feel worried. Yeah, people can watch it, Ryan, that's fine. They'll know what I'm talking about. Make you feel worried and scared at the same time. Even Yugi goes through a darker phase. It was interesting seeing the rules of the game of Duel Monsters get a refresh in a new way, and the inclusion of new monsters featuring the 3 legendary dragons and the legendary knights was really cool. In the cons, certain duels didn't need to happen. I wish I did watch this season all the way through back in the day, and the final confrontation with Darts dragged on far too long. Wow.
Yeah, right. When I said when I wish to watch this season back in the day, I meant was when I talked about like back when I was like still watching it as a child, like 13 and 12 years old. I watched season 1, 2, and probably 3, and I didn't get up to season 4 or 5 until recently, till the last few years, which I'm now an adult man. I've seen season 4 a few times on DVD. I officially own.
And you watch this on Prime Video?
Yeah, you can highly recommend this on the entire show, Yu-Gi-Oh! On Amazon Prime, and goes with their other spin-offs as well.
Okay, so you wrote about this one on October the 5th. So had you watched it recently then, Ryan?
No, not really. I just wait until, because my young mind remember what happens. Because I watched shows so much as a teenager that I know what's happened.
Are you remembering it then from way back when? Or have you watched
Yeah,
it again?
I
as an
remember
adult?
it. I remember it.
Okay. I assumed that you were watching it again as an adult, like you're doing with Clone Wars. I thought this was something you were revisiting.
Well, yeah, this was visiting when I got the DVD box set of it, of Yu-Gi-Oh! The same as Clone Wars.
Yeah, so you've been going through this chronologically. So in the previous series, there were 3 plots, or maybe 2 or 3.
It was, yeah. But this season focus on just one, which
Yeah.
is trying to pretty much save humanity from turning to the going dark. As in going back 10,000 years to the lost city of Atlantis.
Okay, yeah.
Basically like a Power Rangers type of threat.
Okay. I mean, it's all, if I may, it's all nonsense. It's all pulling mythology from here and there and everywhere beyond and darkness, but good fun.
Yeah,
Characters.
the younger people probably see this show and like, what this all means, this is all stupid.
No, I'm
It's
sorry.
involves a stupid, mindless card game.
Fast and Furious is more stupid than this. What I was thinking there was just when they do these plots about darkness will befall the earth, it doesn't work that way. You have one thing happen, but people in the rest of the world are like, what? But in these programs, it's easier if all of humanity is threatened. So I'm just making of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is great. And you talk about character a lot in this. So that's what I'm most interested in is how they get along. So Yugi and friends are traveling to Atlantis, or that's...
Well, no. Well, okay, let me bring you up to speed. By the end of season 3, Yugi saved the world again and now regarded as the king of games, and he's just about to back to the museum they have been before, as in the last 2 seasons. He's just about to learn the secrets of his past, as in talking to Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And bringing all 3 magician cards back to their rightful owners to, learn the secrets of his past. But all of a sudden, for some reason, the cards have just been stolen.
And this wasn't K-Bai. This was new characters.
Yeah, this is all made by this to do with the new villain of the season, Dart.
Darts, yeah. So D-A-R-T-Z.
Yeah, nothing to do with the Darts game.
No, so Ryan and I did an episode, 2 episodes, I think, of talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Last month, the month before that. So if you're interested on our RDB reviews, we've got a playlist, by the way, on our YouTube channel. You can go back, have a look for Yu-Gi-Oh! To hear us talk about the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd series.
Yeah.
And that way you'll understand what we're talking about a bit better. So, still good, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, he's got 3 of his henchmen, Donatello, Raphael.
You're thinking of Ninja Turtles now. Raphael, Valen, and Alistair, you've written here.
Sadly, no Raphael from Ninja Turtles. This
Oh,
is
my
a
God.
completely different Raphael.
Okay.
So, no, the 2 are very different. So, they still have, their monsters from previous seasons, but also a mix of new ones.
Right. So I feel like the program hangs on the monsters. They need to create new monsters and make them interesting.
Yeah, and also, meanwhile, the other character, Kyber, it's like him and his company is having big trouble by Ansting. And also all their monsters are some reason come together into real life. As holograms, terrifying the city, and people are putting the finger onto Kyber and Kyber Corp.
Okay, because he was the bad guy to begin with.
Yeah, sort of a bad guy. As in this season progresses, he comes to realise this is a big, serious threat. That means I had to go to Yugi and his friend to help.
Okay, so it's kind of the whole thing is them bonding.
How much as he hated them, he realised this is too big for me to fight alone.
Okay.
So basically like Batman. He can't fight a big threat on his own. He needs help from other supernatural. But these are just normal high school students are now dragged into the void of this, or getting his company back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The thing I like about anime, I can think of a few examples, but the storyline continues all the way through. So things that happen in the very first episode will have an impact on what they're writing now. They're not just making it up every episode.
Yeah, but I will say the Legendary Knights, which were the very end, were actually really cool.
Excellent. Okay, nice little tidbit there. And you say the animation style is improved as well. Maybe they have more budget, different people working on that.
Yeah.
2003.
And also, I like the fact they shown a new take on the Lost City of Atlantis.
Yeah, interesting. Always good to have that thrown in.
But I'll save it till those who've seen this season.
Okay, so no spoiling of that. If you want to see Atlantis, go and watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 4 on Amazon Prime Video or...
The entire season.
Yeah, the whole thing streamable. That's what Ryan's mentioned in his review, so I won't falsely advertise it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Ryan, thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 4 is available right now. Okay. Thank you.
Ryan, bye.
Bye.